Anita, they're about to join us in a few minutes. They're going to fly in here like Flash Gordon. And we're just talking tonight about why don't people go to church anymore? Why don't people go to church? People doesn't go to church anymore, Pastor Vaughn. I did a post about a couple of days ago. They says Chattanooga and the surrounding area is still leading the whole country. In churches. Right. The people, per capita people attending churches. Over 80–90% of our people still go to church. But yet we still have way more people outside of church than we do in the churches. And we are waiting on the young ladies, our better halves, to accompany us. And before we get into this topic, we want to just bring them in. They were in the makeup room, powdering their noses, and we just didn't want to wait on them. Come on, here they go. Boom, and it stopped.
It's going there.
Yeah, man. So here they go. They back in here. Hey, Lady Lanita, how you doing? I'm good. She patted me on the back of the head like I was boss.
Hey.
Miss Boss.
Oh, boss.
Don't cry.
Why don't people go to church anymore? Come on, we're gonna talk about it. We want you all to give us your comments. Give us your live feed. Tell us what you think about it. Tell you what you think about why people don't go to church anymore. And what's some of the the current day problems that we face in church? What are some of the things that you think about that is plaguing the church, that the enemy is using against the church as a strategy? And those who are tuning in, we want you to list your comments. Share this video. We want this to go all over the country. We wanted to have a gazillion views, not for the glory of Virtuous Church, but just so the fact that people can get out their expressions of why people don't go to church. When I die, I want people to know that I've done my job as spreading the love of Jesus Christ. That's why I'm here. I know my purpose from God. I know why God has birthed me and have kept me alive. He has kept me alive so that I can spread the gospel about Jesus Christ, His love. And I want to be able to do that. So this video is very helpful. This video is imperative to people understanding why people don't go to church. So before we get truly started in this, we want to introduce everybody that's on the panel cast. To my immediate left.
That's right.
Oh my God. Isn't she lovely?
We said no singing.
No singing. This is my lovely wife. This is my only lady, not just the first lady. Her name is Lady Lanita.
That's right.
Yep. Next to her, we have the incomparable, the insatiable Lady Chanel Hewlett.
That's right.
And to her immediate left, we have Velvet.
I knew it.
Elder Joe. Pastor Von Hewlett, we thank God for him and his gift. And we just love you all. You all are going to love them in videos and lives to come, because these personalities right here will blow your socks away. The intellect and the articulation that they have and the wealth of knowledge that they have inside of those minds of theirs, God has blessed them. They got a chip of heaven sitting on top of their shoulders, and we can't wait to you all to be able to hear some of the ideas and the comments that they have. They got a whole chip. A whole chip. Now, I didn't say got a little splink. I said a chip.
A whole chip.
A whole 32 gigs.
All of it all together. Tell us, what y'all just popcorn. Tell us what you think. Why do people not in church? Why do you think people not in church? You want to let the ladies go first? Yeah, we'll let them go first. We'll let them go first. We're gonna act like let them go first.
Why can't y'all go first?
Well,
I'm gonna go first.
Well, first, I think it's a commitment, because you have to look at it two ways. If there's a lack of commitment, that means you were committed somewhere at some point in time in your life. But people neglect commitment. They avoid commitment in this day and age. Not only just in the church, but in their everyday life. If you can't commit to something in your everyday life, we go to work because we have to go to work. We pay bills. You gotta have money. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna eat, you gotta have money. We do that because we have to. That's not necessarily a commitment, that's an obligation. We have to do that. But as far as your personal commitment to something, people avoid that. I think that's a problem in church nowadays, because people don't want to commit to something, They don't want to commit. They don't want to have a responsibility. You know, they want to come when they want to come, and if they don't like it, they can leave and they can church hop, as some say.
Y'all heard that, didn't you? I know you heard that. Facebook, Pastor Vaughn said you're just not committed. YouTube, right? Instagram,
right?
Social media.
Well, what I do want to say about it is, first, I want to say that I'm truly committed in church. So I do want to say that first, but I also play the little devil's advocate for a minute, because what I truly believe as well is that it's a lot goes on in church. It's a lot of mess as well.
Yeah.
And because it's a lot of mess, a lot of people tend to run or don't want to come because of the multiple things that go on at church.
Right.
But what I can say, as far as because of the multiple things that do go on in church, and I'm gonna tell you guys a story a little later, because I dropped 2 gospel albums, so I know as far as a lot of things that happen behind scenes. Right. When it comes to the church, and then when it comes to just mess in church.
Right.
But what I do want to say about that is, just because it's mess do not mean that you stop from getting your blessings.
Don't make it an excuse.
It don't make an excuse from getting your blessings. But I can say, just to play, you do have people that want to be committed, but because of the mess, they go to other directions.
They just don't want to be a part.
Right.
Of that.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
So
I agree with my sister here.
Okay.
Okay, but
It's 'cause y'all got the
I
same
think
thing.
church is. I mean, I believe that. Now, hear me out when I say
You
this.
listening?
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that church is supposed to be not messy, but if we are here to give life and to change and to grow people, if
Right.
He's given us powers to bring these, you have pastors and teachers and all of that. The people who are in the church are supposed to be sick. They come in with some issues.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
they come in with issues, and the problem, I believe, is they're coming with issues and don't know how to get out, or not ready to quite get out. But they know, if they get in the presence of God somewhere, they'll be able to, move forward in their life. But I believe the problem is, when they come sick, they see sick as well.
Right.
And they're not getting that help that they're needing, that the church is supposed to be. So I think,
but
being,
do that mean run, not come?
No, right.
Or do that mean
Yeah.
help?
Yeah.
When you can help,
Well,
because
no.
even though you're sick doesn't mean you can't help.
Yeah, you know the old saying. I mean, what Pastor used to say all the time: hurt people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? When they come looking for help, and the help is worse off than you,
Right.
yeah, you gonna run. I believe. If the church, if you're coming to the church for safety, and the church is worse off, the people that are there are worse off than you are, you're gonna go look. So eventually, you're gonna stop looking to the church for help.
Well, what I'm hearing
Okay.
in all of you saying, and I'm just let me kind of link all of them together, and I'll just kind of play the bridge right here for a second. Is that Pastor Vaughn said commitment. First Lady said how church. Pastor Vaughn says commitment is one of the reasons why people are not going to church.
Right.
First Lady said is that church has become so messy to the point to why people haven't become going to church. And Lady Chanel, you said that even though the church is supposed to be kind of the gathering place for the ones who need the help, when hurt people,
Right.
that kind of turns the stomach of why people are supposed to be going. Well, I want to kind of like throw this one into the pot as well.
Go ahead.
Is that I know for a fact, as being a pastor myself, being in church my entire life, I am in the epitome of my 40s, and I don't remember a Sunday that it was against the law for us not to be at church. It was always the law for us to be at church. And, I would have to make sure that even when I was abroad in college, that Mama, I went to church. I mean, Daddy, I was at church. I had to be at church. One thing that I have learned about church is that from the time I was born, even up to now, and now in leadership of myself, is that most people put the leadership, the pastor, the motherboard, the deacon board, as their token God. They were the pedestals of God. And when they saw them people fall,
yes,
that was one of the things that brought them away from the church, because they put their confidence in humanity and then put their confidence in God.
I totally agree.
I
totally agree.
That's true.
So this is what I want to interject. And that being said, I want to interject. Do you all think, because this is where I'm going to drive my stake into the ground tonight, is that do you think people have a true understanding of who God is? Or do you think people just have an understanding of what He's supposed to look like?
What church is like.
Or what church is like through the voice of what they've been taught all these years. Elder DJ Ward taught me this, and I never forget it. He said, I don't blame people for how they believe. I blame people for how they've been taught.
Right.
And what he meant by that, and what I took from that, what I took from that is that if you've been taught wrong, you're going to believe wrong.
Right.
And so many years we've been entertained in church. We're spiritually dumb, and yet we are we're entertained and educated really in the art of just building a great machine.
Right.
And when that machine breaks down, it's just like your automobile. It's just like your washer and dryer. It's just like your cell phone. You trade it in for the next thing.
Yeah.
So
well, I think that a lot of people don't understand as well is that preachers and bishops and whatever you guys call it, they are still men.
Right.
They are still women. I mean, whichever way you go, they are still human, so they do make mistakes as well. But people, because you are a shining star for everybody, then and you are their leadership. So when you go into leadership, then what it tends to happen is you have those followers that's following you.
Right.
So or following any leadership.
Right.
It's just like a superstar. You have. This is just a prime example. Beyonce did the Coachella, right? And the next thing you know, you go on Instagram and you go on Facebook, and everybody got her outfit on.
Right.
So it's not the fact of they know that they're not her, but at the same time, as far as preachers go and bishops go,
they emulate the person.
Right. They are trying to walk in your steps, which they should be trying to walk in God's steps and the steps that God has made for them, versus trying to do what you do as an individual man, or doing any preacher do as an individual man, because you will fall short all the time. Because just being a man or being a human, you do fall short.
Yeah.
And if you don't have God within you, you will fall short. But I still believe that because preachers are a leader, that people want to be led by some holy men, and that can walk in.
That's what I was about to say. Then that's the reason I believe that God tells us to be holy. Because I know He knew that there were going to be some people who were looking at your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So He knew that there were going to be people.
Now you mess me all up. I'm going to get into a theological presupposition and debate with you now, because here's the crazy thing about what you just said, and you sparked something that's amazing. I was looking at some of the comments that rolled down. Lady Tiffany said that it's hard for people to relate. Sometimes people have a difficulty to relate. I bet you this, and I'm going to just piggyback off of what she said.
Can I do one thing for a minute?
Okay.
Can I get that camera right?
Oh, yeah.
No, it stopped.
It cut off.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. One thing that that I really want to interject and bring to the forefront, and I hope you guys that are watching and tuning in on whatever social media site that you're in are really getting something from this, because we're not trying to be too fabulous to where we can't be informed.
No,
We're trying to get some help out here.
Trying to get some help.
Sometimes your best help comes from when you just sitting down in the grass and you got some mud on your pants and you just getting down in the dirt.
Right.
This is the one thing I know. You said God says, "Be ye holy as I am holy." You interjected that. Lady Tiffany in her comment said it's sometimes hard for people to relate. Everyone can relate to a miracle. When your behind is sick, and you go to the doctor
Yeah.
and you get well,
People
you
wait.
can relate.
Right.
When you broke and you go to that ATM,
Why can't you relate?
you go to that ATM.
Right.
What? Let me finish it. This is gonna be ridiculous.
Okay.
You go to that ATM.
Uh-huh.
This is why people don't go to church in some. And another reason, in my opinion.
Okay.
You go to the
Come
ATM
on.
and your bank account is empty.
Yeah.
And wherever you went to get that bank account full, you're going to keep going back there. So if you went to work, you're going to go to work. If you went to the corner market and somebody gave you $500, you're going to keep going to that corner market.
Right.
If you went to the park and find $5 laying on the track, that's going to be your favorite track. Okay, right? Be ye holy as I am holy. One of the reasons I just kicked her K-Swiss, and you know how we used to do brand new. He was like, I don't know if y'all saw that, but if y'all saw that little eye, the lashes, he was like, it was fluttering me at first because she was like, "That's my baby, you so smart." I hit that K-Swiss, she was like, look. So back on track. Listen, you said, "Be ye holy as I am holy," right?
Right.
God said, "Be ye holy," because what He was saying is, number one, not try to be.
Right.
But you are.
Yeah.
Be who you are.
So He says, be who you are.
Right.
And He knows that the only atmosphere or the only voice that the atmosphere will listen to is a holy voice.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because the holy voice of God is the one who created the ear for the atmosphere.
Right.
Watch this now.
Right.
He will not respond, being the atmosphere. The atmosphere will not respond to a voice that ain't connected to God.
That's
Right.
So all these people who are talking about speak it, and you can, blab it and grab it, and you can say it in the name of Jesus, and it's gonna happen this way. It's never gonna happen unless your walk matches your talk, or your talk matches your walk.
Right.
So when you talked about be holy as I am holy, what He was really saying is be your true character.
That's right.
Be who you are. I was created in the image of God.
Right.
Now here's where the dilemma comes in as it pertains to the church. Where it pertains to the church is that many folk don't see the manifestation.
Right.
So I believe they don't come. And when they don't come, or when they don't see the manifestation, they then blame it on the people who are doing the talking. Most of the time it's the pastor.
Right.
Most of the time it's